Hello, welcome back to Galactic Reviews. And
Yay!
yeah,
You get so unenthusiastic every time with the intro because, like, it's coming.
yeah,
Alright.
we watched the Marvels this past weekend. Yeah,
It,
let's get right into our thoughts. Uh, who wants to start off, or should I just start off?
I think we need to just start off with, like, the biggest one, you. So, I think we
Okay,
do
Thomas,
age.
if you want to talk about biggest one, wouldn't that technically be me because I'm fatter than both of y'all?
That's not what I meant, but okay.
when you said okay, yeah, I was about to say that, but not in the way you meant it. So yeah, I did not care for this movie. Did not like this movie. What a shock. Ethan's upset.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
I'm not. I'm just doing what
Um,
Thomas would have done.
I
Well,
thought
no,
the
I would be upset if I thought this movie was great, which I didn't. So,
I
I'm
thought
not
the
upset.
cinematography was okay. For a good portion of it. I also think the same thing for the music. Nothing really stood out for me, but nothing was like abhorrently bad. None of that was. It wasn't that bad necessarily. CGI wasn't the greatest, wasn't the best, wasn't the worst I've seen. I've definitely seen worse in like the Doctor Strange stuff that had some bad CGI. This one was not
Hmm.
near as bad. The real thing that takes this movie down is the story and the characters. I don't know whether or not this is the a combination of the writing and actors, and I'm more than likely leaning towards that just because I don't. The acting is not that great, and it's. I mean, at least hey, I'll give this to Marvel. They've been consistent all throughout most of the more recent phases, and with the ones that with like abnormal ones like No Way Home and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it's been poorly act poor writing throughout. Acting has been on a range, but writing has been poor throughout. The plot doesn't make any sense. The acting, the characters, the three Marvel characters that are supposed to form like a team, they never really feel that good in a team dynamic at all. The villain, you never really feel a real threat. A lot of the stuff just doesn't make any sense. Right off the bat, it's not made for fans of the old MCU or the comic book at all, comic books, except maybe the new stuff. But even then, that could be, it can be argued whether or not that was made for fans as well, or if that was just made in for other reasons.
Mm.
But I'm talking about the newer comic books. The older comic books were made just to be entertaining. Yeah, this is just horrible. The plot, it's the plot. There are parts you understand it, parts where you don't, parts where you question everything. Go a lot of stuff going on as to why certain things are happening this in this way, and they never get answered or they're poorly answered.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 10.
Hmm.
It is not as I don't think it's as bad as the first one. That's one thing I will preface on. It is not as bad in as far as the in your face, in your face sort of mantra of preaching to the audience in a sense and being as disrespectful to the source material. I will say that. However, it is still disrespectful to the source material. The writing is probably worse than it was in the first Captain Marvel in this one than it was in the last one.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
so yeah, overall 2.5 out of 10.
Crazy opinion, but it's not too crazy, I will say. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think it's Ethan's turn now.
That's usually how it goes. I agree with what you're saying, but
I agree with what you're saying, just not all of it.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
Like
waiting
this-
for I was
Yeah.
waiting for the but to happen.
Yeah, there's like parts where like I'm like, you're absolutely right. But then there's other parts where I'm like, you're absolutely wrong. But overall, not your worst take, to be honest. But
Well, it depends on what you say. It depends on how bad I think your take is.
probably.
Okay, whoever's next, go.
I mean, I'll go. That's fine.
Okay.
I thought this movie was pretty funny. Honestly, that was kind of like one of the things that I thought this movie wasn't going to be. I didn't expect the funny part to come out. I thought it was going to be boring. We were just going to see three superheroes fight people, and then that's pretty much it. We did not get that. I thought it was funny. I thought it was quite hilarious at some times. The emotional part in this movie, I just did not care for. It was just like, oh, it's there. That's pretty much it. But I thought it was really cool to see like us like to get this like some funny moments in this movie because I thought all the funny moments in this movie were really really good. Like Miss Marvel, she was hilarious. I thought she was very very good.
Hmm.
The singing people, that was hilarious. I hope and pray they bring those people back because that was just so funny, in my opinion. But um, I don't know. I just thought like Payson said, I didn't like the villain. The villain wasn't that good. But I will say the villain, I guess there was kind of a threat, but she didn't really need to like do what she did in order to accomplish what she needed,
Hmm.
in my opinion. Like she could have easily have negotiated for those things that she wanted. Like she could have negotiated for air. She could have probably found some place that didn't inhabit anything and asked for that air, and they probably would have given it to her and all that other good
Yeah.
stuff. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think the threat wasn't as huge at all. And then her backstabbing people was stupid because if all she really wanted was to get that, why
Yeah.
would she backstab the only threat that she has in her face?
Yep.
So that's kind of my thing with that.
Good take.
You could have easily just said, "Hey, all I need now is a son. What son can I get?" You know, like that's all she had to do because she could easily go and steal a son, but like she didn't have to go and steal the son that we have. But that's just me in my opinion. So
I mean, the only reason why she was stealing like our son was
yeah,
because she didn't like Captain Marvel, the Annihilator.
yeah, I know that, but she could have
All right.
easily asked for a different way. She didn't have to do the what she did. But I guess that's what you get when you're playing all of your cards. Um, I think I would give this movie a 4,
Mm.
despite it being funny, despite it having like all this different stuff. It just wasn't the line that it was trying to go for. I just don't think it was like that good of a storytelling movie. I think
Hmm.
this was meant to be more of like a, oh, here's some stuff, insert here. This this does nothing to this only sets up X-Men pretty much. That's pretty much all this does. This
Boys
is
are no, I'm just kidding.
that's all it ever does with this movie is it's just setting up X-Men, and that's pretty much the whole base of this movie, really.
And this is such a horrible movie to set up the X-Men. There were so many other opportunities that
Yes.
they could have, and this is the way they decided to do it.
And they did it with the thing that I'm upset with at most is that they did it with an end credit scene. You shouldn't have done it with the end credit scene. You should have done it with the actual movie. Because the end credit scene is going to be more of like you. I don't know. It would be more of like you, probably saying that you. I don't know. I just don't think the way that they did it was a good way. It's kind of like with Quantum Mania where they showed all of the Kangs. I don't think they should have done that. Like, I understand that, but it's like you could have easily have introduced the Kangs in a completely different way. And I think the best way to have done that would have been in Loki season 2,
Yeah, I think they did
where
a lot of Quantumania wrong
where where
with the
Loki
Kang
and
especially.
what's his name? More Mobius?
Yeah,
Loki and Mobius actually go in, find them, and they're like, "Oh crap, how do we beat them?" You
I
know?
think Loki season 2 was supposed to come out before Quantumania, and I think that would have been better. So I don't know why they changed that, but because I think Quantumania did it bad, but like originally, then they changed it like a
Yeah,
while
well, they
ago.
need to get their crap together because that was terrible.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't like Quantumania how they did Kang.
Because Quantum Media was first, and then it became Loki season 2.
They did like really good parts like the costume and stuff like that, and then they just
Oh
like
yeah,
he got defeated by Ant-Man, so it's like bad. But anyway, back to the
yeah.
Marvels.
I just don't like that. I liked, I
Yeah.
liked like when it came to like the Marvels itself. I think they're just doing some stuff wrong, and it's clear that Marvel isn't like giving us the whole like the whole thing of the X-Men right then and there. But you keep hinting at it, and I think hinting at it, it just makes it like worse and worse and worse. We want the X-Men, and I think the introduction of the X-Men needs to happen because if you're gonna hold on to the X-Men for so long,
I feel like it
then
will
it's
in
like it's gonna burn
Deadpool.
out eventually.
I feel like it will in Deadpool. And I disagree. I don't think it's gonna burn out like
Well, if you
within
do it
like
for
the next
so
within
like
like
what
the
I'm trying to
next
say
3
is if you
years.
so what I'm trying to say is if you keep teasing the X-Men and what X-Men are gonna come in, you're gonna eventually burn it out.
Yeah, but they're definitely getting to it within the next few years. So
Because
I
for
think
me,
they're
because
I
for
think they're
me right
dragging
now,
it, but I
they're
think it's fine.
dragging it, and they can't
Yeah.
drag something like that. They have to bring it in.
They should have
Yeah.
brought it
I
in at
think I think it's
WandaVision.
okay though.
That's when they should
Yeah,
have brought
They
it
should
in.
have.
They definitely should have brought it in
And
WandaVision.
instead, they've dragged their feet. So, and now the MCU's died. So that might be a blessing in disguise that,
But Deadpool is bringing it back. Loki, I don't think it's dying.
it's
I think
dying,
it's.
dude. It's dying.
Oh, I disagree. It keeps giving out like really good stuff to where it's like it's still really good. So
I am excited though for the upcoming stuff, but it's just like for
that's what
me,
I'm
this
saying.
movie's kind of like because it's again, it's a setup, but it's like for me, it's just dragging the stuff out at this
Yeah,
point.
but
Although I
People
will
that
say, this movie hilarious. I
people
love
feel
the
like
people
comedy in
this
this
might just
movie.
be the two of you because the people that I've talked to that have been fans of the MCU, like I bring up any like movie of the MCU that they're wanting to see, and they're like, it's always like eye rolls and shrugs, like
Yeah,
I don't want to go see it. So maybe it's just you two, but
for me,
no, I think it's
nobody
just people
wants
that you talk
as
to.
uh, who are these people? Andrew,
No,
Zach,
Zach. Yeah.
Micah, Cameron, none of
hmm
them.
I think it's just people that
Um,
you talk to.
I mean, they are his
that could
friends
be
technically,
true,
so
but
Yeah, I know a lot of people that are excited for the MCU.
mm.
as far as I can tell, I know not many people that are excited about future prospects of the MCU and what they've got to hold. If anything, they're just happy about. If anything, they might be interested in Deadpool 3, like they were interested in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man No Way Home, but they're not interested in anything else. They're interested in one shots, not the whole universe anymore. Nobody really is. Well, at least the people I talk to. So I could be wrong. I could just be part of a minute whatever, but a lot
I
of
feel
my
like you are,
friends and a
and
lot of
I
people
don't
that
think
I
that's your
talk
I don't think
to, they
that's your
don't.
fault, but I don't think that's your fault. But I just like I know like a lot of people that are excited for like what the MCU is like coming into it. As long as they do it right, obviously. Like if they fail
Um,
it, then no one's gonna be excited for like a bunch of failures. But
Nobody has, and that's because they've done a whole bunch of failures.
I'm
I
also
I
not
disagree.
excited. I'm also not excited for that new group that they're trying to form.
Young Avengers. That's part of that was actually a new comic book that was specific.
That's
that-
it's
It's-
literally all girls.
It's all girl, all woke, a whole bunch of a whole nine
It's
yards.
literally all girls.
So
and
far,
that's
I
what-
disagree.
That's
so
the thing.
far,
Because there's not, for sure there's not going to be Spider-Man in that. They're
no.
not going to
Well,
put Peter Parker in there.
If
No.
Spider-Man's not in that, then I have a problem with it. But if Spider-Man's in
He
it,
won't be.
then
He
Yeah,
won't.
he
be.
won't
I'm with
be.
it. I'm
He'll
with
be
it all the
he'll
way.
he'll be either an Avenger or won't
Mhm.
be an Avenger. Like he's not going to be Young Avenger.
Yeah, no, he's going to be an
Um,
Avenger for sure.
They
He's in
might
that age group now.
they might put eventually whenever they do bring him in, they might put in Wanda's kids into the
Well, I hope
Maybe.
they
Avengers, but
bring
that's
in.
about it. I
hope they do.
bring in-
It's
I hope
gonna
they bring in a Miles Morales.
it's only gonna
character.
be women because that's the only people that they actually have setting up.
Yep.
Uh,
What is it? Miss Marvel, the young girl from the Arrow,
Hawkeye, yep.
Red Arrow. Is that her name?
Kate
Hawkeye.
Bishop.
Hawkeye. Kate Bishop.
Yep.
Um,
He's not Hawkeye, but yeah,
Ant-Man's
Kate
daughter.
Bishop. Yep, that's another one. He's annoying as
Um,
well.
I don't like her, dude.
Nope.
I saw her in that movie. I'm like, nah.
She
What is
was
this,
good. I like-
Caillou?
She
What is
was
this,
liked her in
fudging Caillou?
She
Like,
was good in
nah.
Endgame, and then she got.
I liked her in
and then she
everything
they changed her
except
character.
Quantumania.
I
Yeah, they
like how
changed,
she's a
like-
genius. I don't like how she's ambitious. Like, it's just like,
I don't like how they're all hating on. I know this isn't a Quantumania review, but I don't like how like the whole family is hating on Scott.
After
for
he
no
just got
reason.
done saying,
Yeah,
saving
after
the
he just
multiverse-
saved the
basically.
universe.
And then like you're not doing
Yeah.
enough. He's like, and then you're just like, well, wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying.
How long
That's what I'm saying. He
ago?
did the most. He did
I
the
know.
literal most.
He did the most. He lost
Him
10
and like
years of his
Tony did
life.
the most.
He lost 10 years of his life and saved the universe in the process, and yet he's
I don't
not
know if
doing
it was
enough.
10. It was like
I think it was 5.
it
Yeah.
turns out,
for him, it was like 5
guys, it turns out, guys, if you're not doing something, even if you are doing something, you're
I still-
still not doing enough.
I still feel like they could make Young
Men-
Avengers interesting, like with a lot of things, but I can also see like it's way more easily able to like just fumble than a lot of the MCU projects. But I feel like it could be something, but I just don't know how likely of a thing that it's going to be.
For Young
And
Avengers.
I don't even know if I'm gonna enjoy it. Yeah, Young Avengers.
It's
But if
not
they
gonna be
bring in
good.
like fun characters like Miles Morales and like different people,
If it's gonna be a show, I don't think I'll watch that.
They're not going to bring in
I might.
interesting characters. I'm just saying.
No,
that
they're
right now.
not.
well, the Marvels made me want to watch Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yeah, I want to finish that now.
I
just
think it could
because
be a
of-
pretty funny show. I just don't want to watch She-Hulk.
I haven't.
again. That was so bad.
I haven't given my
character-
review.
Her character was annoying to me,
Yeah.
Miss Marvel, and
Oh yeah. Nah.
Mm.
I think Andrew would like Miss Marvel.
yeah, no doubt about that. But he also liked a whole bunch of crap that I was like, really? You like
Yeah.
that? And so
All right,
I
well,
watched.
anyway.
I think Miss Marvel would be a very funny character. She's like the awkward funny, and I think a lot of people like that.
I find her annoying
reason.
just because it's a over obsessed
Fangirl. Yeah.
that is just annoying and feels like she brings no value to the team. She's just
But
an
it's-
annoying character.
but
that's
she-
there.
But she does though.
Yeah, she brings value to the team for sure.
How so? Like besides
She's
the
like the glue.
besides the armband, how so?
She's like the emotional support. She's the glue that holds the team together. Like without her, I
Yeah.
feel like they're not getting. I feel like
Oh,
the
yeah.
other two aren't. I feel like the other two aren't getting over their problems without her.
I mean, they kind of
So-
were.
No, they weren't.
They kind of were. Once they were on the ship and they
Well,
actually
it wasn't-
talked, they were.
It wasn't until they found out about her that
Yeah, and
like they
they
actually
only, like-
started becoming.
and they only
You could-
and they
you
only
could
talk,
argue
they
that she
only
might have
they only
helped
talked
bring that
because
along.
Miss Marvel was there.
The-
They only talked because Miss Marvel was there. That's what I'm saying. They only got to talking because Miss Marvel was there.
They only
Anyway,
got to
I haven't
talking
get- I
because the
haven't-
situation arose. You could make that argument. However, saying that Miss Marvel is the glue because she is part of the reason as to why this development unfolded, that's a stupid argument.
Mm.
No,
Yes, it
It's
is.
literally it's what happened though.
No, it was gonna happen eventually anyway.
Yeah, but eventually it was too late. So it happened then. It was because of her. So
It wasn't really
but
because of her. It was because the situation. It wasn't really because of her.
no, because they weren't talking about it until she said something about it. And then she started like, asking questions, talking. And then it kind of like had a whole thing. And then they had their moment and then they
Was
go back
she
with Miss Marvel there. Yeah.
was she
Anyway,
the therapist?
pretty much back to my review. Um
It
let's
wasn't.
see.
Okay, whatever.
I haven't given my review and it's been like a while. So
All right.
because we've been talking about other stuff. So hold on. We'll get back to it. Let's see. Miss Marvel. I thought it was pretty all right. I think it was okay. It's nothing like phenomenal, not blowing me away, not blowing my socks off or anything like that, but it was fine. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot of bad parts, I'd say. Like I'm just like the biggest thing that brings this movie down for me is I'm just not interested in a lot of things. And it's finding trouble drawing me into certain things because like I just really don't care. Like a lot of stuff happens and I'm like I don't really know why I'm supposed to care about that because we just haven't gotten a lot of time with these characters to let them develop.
Some would
And
say
so
that's
like
the writing.
and so a lot of it is just like I don't really care. But, this movie's funny. This movie does a lot of stuff. It just doesn't do much in the way of like storytelling or anything like that. Like it tells like a pretty bland, mediocre story. Like I've seen this story before, like it's nothing really new or special. I think they do some stuff like right with like the funny parts, but like I don't know. It's just not bringing a lot to the table. But there is a lot of moments that I really enjoyed that I really liked watching. Like the cats, like with all the cats eating the people, hilarious. The every time Samuel L. Jackson made a joke, I just thought it was so funny. Miss Marvel was also really good. I think she was probably like one of my favorite parts of this movie because like she's like the character that's like everyone would be reacting to, like like if anyone was in that situation, they'd be Miss Marvel. So I think she's really relatable in that sense, where like she's a kid in over her head and she's still trying to make the right decision. So there's just different parts that I liked. Some stuff I didn't really like follow. Like there's a moment where like she's still using her powers even though she doesn't have like the little thingy on, which could be explained in Miss Marvel show, but I haven't seen it, so I gotta go check that out to maybe get an explanation. But I thought that was weird if they don't explain that because I thought she gets her powers from the thing, but that she's using her powers when she doesn't have the thing. So maybe I'm just an idiot, and that's in the show, but I don't
You
know.
are. But
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
show they
whatever.
do explain that
Okay, okay.
she is a mutant, and the bands just
Oh,
somehow
that's cool.
unlocked her powers, which is not good.
That's cool. That's
No,
cool. Oh, I like that more now. Well,
no.
that's not a problem I have with the show anymore. But anyway,
I have that problem with the show because she's an inhuman, not a mutant.
anyway, I think it was good. I just think it has its problems. The villain, I'm not really like
Are you
it's
guessing
just
what
like
he's gonna give it?
I just don't care, you know? What do you have? I
He
want to
has a
see it.
number that he's guessing that you're gonna give it.
Well,
That would have
I
been my
can't see
number
the
too.
number. Like, what do you have? Like, bring your
You
hands
can't. What
like
do you mean you
further
can't?
out.
What do you mean you can't see the
It's a
number,
guess.
Well, I want to see. Well, I can see like he has it like this, so I can like see some stuff.
It's a guess. I'll move it
dude?
when it
He's
comes in.
got the
Well, it's a
whole.
6.5.
You were close.
Yeah, so I don't know how you're gonna do like the whole like half a point, but whatever. It's a 6.5, I think. I could bring it down to a 6 or I could bring it up to a 7. I
You
just
are a
think
psycho.
there was just like it was definitely better than the first movie.
I
And
disagree that it's a 6,
well, I mean, yeah, obviously, because you gave it a
but
4. So I
yeah.
would assume you would. But I just think like they do. And then there's a lot of moments in this movie that I just really appreciated because it didn't do a lot of what Marvel's been doing, like with Quantumania and Thor: Love and Thunder, where they just keep a joke going for so long that it just gets beaten and it's like terrible. And there's a lot of moments where it could have happened where like they
They
say
did it with
something
the singing planet.
and they could where they say something and it could have gone on and been like dragging and terrible, but then they did it and they stopped it and I was like, that's really good. That was where this movie shined a lot, where like it could have been bad, but then it wasn't, which doesn't make it good. It just makes it like better than what it could have been, especially for Marvel standards. And a lot of this has to deal with the first movie. I was going in with low expectations, and it kind of really blew this out of the water. But I thought the family was good, like Miss Marvel's family. That was like every time they were saying something, it was funny. But just like yeah, a lot of this movie was fun. It was a fun movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's just some parts were just like kind of I can't really think of another term other than just like boring. Like it was just like okay, like I get that it's happening like for the story, but like why is it really there? But yeah, 6.5. I think it was decent. I think it was all right. I think it's better than Love and Thunder and Quantumania, but like not by like much, by like maybe half a point or two. So that's my review. Let's get into some discussion, I guess.
Another thing I will say is Samuel L. Jackson never acted like Nick Fury. He acted like Samuel L. Jackson.
That's a good point. I agree. I agree. But I didn't really have a problem with it.
And I
Because
already had a
apparently, like,
problem with the Samuel L. Jackson that they had portrayed in Marvel, in the Captain Marvel movie, which he went from being a sick, interesting character to being this pencil pusher who got his eyes scratched out by a cat.
well, that's the first movie that I don't like.
That's
And we
what I
all
said.
don't like that movie.
It's like you didn't hear me.
I'm reiterating what you said. Are you all right? Yep.
I'm just
Re-irritating?
saying, I am just
Yep.
saying they took a character and ruined him to the point where you can't change that fact. And that ruins him for everything else going on.
I disagree. I don't think that ruins him for everything else.
Yeah, it does. Civil War. Or not Civil War, Winter Soldier. Last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. You can't see that moment again and go, wow, how did he lose that eye? It must have been a
That
sick,
doesn't make
interesting way.
that
It
doesn't make
ruins his
that
character
movie
because you're
bad.
thinking he is
That
an
makes Captain
interesting.
Marvel bad. That makes Captain Marvel bad. That doesn't make Winter Soldier bad. That's a crazy opinion.
No, I'm saying it ruins Winter Soldier
That's
because
like
Captain
that's
Marvel
like
is that bad.
okay, but that's like saying so the Star Wars sequels, that's like saying the original trilogy is bad because they messed it up so bad in the sequels. Like that's just a
No,
bad
that's
comparison.
not the same.
Just because they mess up later doesn't mean that it messes up everything before it. It makes it really bad what they did later, but it doesn't make everything before it tainted and terrible.
Captain Marvel in the timeline happens beforehand. So
No,
that
I'm talking
point
about
is stupid.
Release order. What
I
they
don't care
do.
about
Oh
release
my
order. I'm talking
gosh.
about
Release
timeline.
order. I'm saying for release order, that doesn't make the stuff
I don't care
before it
about release
bad.
order. That you can make that argument all you want for release order, and that's fine if you want to go that route. But if you think about it through the timeline, there's no way that you cannot think in your mind subconsciously, if anything else, that Nick Fury is nothing more than a pencil pusher. So him saying that he's this super
Yes.
cool, interesting
when you look,
character when he's trying to be
oh
all
my
mysterious
gosh.
and has all this experience. Well, he's nothing more
This is
than a
a,
pencil pusher that got his eye scratched out by a cat.
but when you're looking at it, so you're watching Winter Soldier, right? You're dialed in. Nick Fury's doing some really cool stuff. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, he's a pencil pusher. But do you know what that's about? That reflects on Captain Marvel, not Winter Soldier. You hating on one movie because another movie messes something up is a terrible opinion. That's what I have a problem
I'm
with.
saying that reflects on the
That's
MCU
stupid.
in general.
That's not what you said before.
Yes.
That you said it's what makes Winter Soldier bad.
No,
Not
I'm
bad, but you
saying
said it
this
makes
movie
Winter
taints
Soldier
the whole
worse.
MCU. And I was bringing
No,
up
it
the
doesn't.
example of Winter Soldier.
I think you're giving Captain Marvel way too much credit in that
You're-
it taints the whole MCU just because it messes up one character. That's it.
The
I
Avengers
think
are
that's
named
bad.
after Captain Marvel
Yes. Like I'm saying, oh my god.
instead of Captain America, who was named the first Avenger.
I know we'd be arguing about some stuff, but I didn't know we'd be arguing about this. This is stupid. This is a dumb example. All right, so
What do you mean it's a dumb example?
you have something set. Like you have low like what's a good example of this? other than like I don't know Star Wars, but like I can't apparently. All right, so you have the original trilogy, and you have the prequels. The prequels, they're bad movies. I love them, but they're bad movies. So you're like, oh, that reflects badly on stuff. That's a bad example. I'm trying to think of a good example. You can't take something and then a whole different thing. It might mess up things related to this one thing, but a whole different thing messes it up. That doesn't make this thing bad. That makes that thing bad.
No, that's not.
So Winter Soldier,
Did
it
did
doesn't
you hear
make
me?
Winter Soldier bad. It doesn't make Avengers bad. It doesn't make
Did you hear
Avengers
me?
bad.
Did you hear me?
Yes, and you're not making any sense.
No, because you're not saying what I'm saying. What I said was it taints the whole MCU, not specifically one
doesn't.
movie.
No, it doesn't. It
Yes, it
can't.
does.
It's not tainting a whole franchise because
Yes, it
one
is.
movie is terrible.
Yes, when the movie that is bad makes the whole MCU kind of revolve around it in a
But it
messed
doesn't do
up
that.
way. Dude, he's
You can go through the entire MCU without watching Captain Marvel and you'd understand 99% of it.
yes, you'd have a way better experience.
That's not revolving around one movie. Revolving around one movie is like a star movie like Avengers, Infinity War. Like a star movie where it's like if you don't watch this, you're not getting like
Okay, either I
50% of the
misspoke
MCU.
or you are not getting it. So I apologize for either one. Look,
Yeah, I
this
think you misspoke.
I think you're stupid, but either one,
I
we'll go
think
with
you
either way.
misspoke.
Well, you say tomato, I say you're dumb. Now, to your
Or
point earlier, where you said somebody can watch Avengers or Iron Man to Avengers Infinity War and be fine, I agree. They could. Heck, if they just watch Endgame and don't watch Captain Marvel, they could be fine. However, when they watch Captain Marvel, their view of everything now changes whenever they want to go back and watch that because now they know the reason, at least why in the universe, or at least in this universe that they now have like made essentially a factoid of this, is that now they can't, is like now certain stuff has changed. Like, why, if this character's been around since like 1970, why is she just now being brought in to this earth-shattering event when she should have been brought in like maybe Avengers or some other times, to the point where this is done by how it should have ended, has done this multiple times, has done this sort of thing a lot of times, kind of pointing out the flaws that's riddled throughout the Captain Marvel. Avengers is now, instead of it being named after Captain America, it's now named after Brie Larson's I think is either her flight name or her plane's name. I don't remember. I believe it was her flight name, but it's now named after Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. They also ruined the character of Nick Fury, and you no longer see him the same way. They also over-aggrandize the power of Captain Marvel to the point where the only way Thanos is able to defeat her is with the help of an Infinity Stone that it takes out of the gauntlet, which I don't know why that needed to happen the way it did, but it did.
Well, he didn't close his fist, I think.
No, he had to take it out of the gauntlet and then use it in his fist when he could have just left it in the gauntlet and it would have still worked.
No, it wouldn't have.
He's got the power of all the Infinity Stones on his hand. Why wouldn't it work?
They only activate when he closes his fist. That's why in Infinity War, they use the Doctor Strange's cape to grab his hand so he can't close it. Because once he closes it, that's when he activates it. I think that's dumb, but that's how they explain it. So that's an
Okay.
Infinity War problem.
Okay. Then does she hold his hand open?
Yeah. She's holding his hand like with both of her hands, and that's why he just rips it out and then just
Okay, that's
which
stupid.
was cool. Yeah, I know that's not the greatest
Stupid.
explanation, but it's cool.
And it's also this is also the guy that beat down the Hulk when the Hulk was, still cool. So that's very dumb. So
Yeah, I don't. They messed up Hulk.
They messed up Hulk big.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like if you didn't watch Captain Marvel that's at all, you could very much enjoy like phase 1 through phase 3 with the exception of that movie. But if you bring in if you watch that movie, that changes your whole perception of the MCU. Or at least a big portion of it. So that's all I was saying.
Yeah, I disagree, but I see where you're coming from and I get it. But that's I feel like that's like focusing too much on one thing. And like, yeah, it's a problem, but also you're just giving one movie way too much credit. And you're just focusing way too much on something.
I'm not
And
giving
it's
it.
just,
What do you mean by
I
I've
think,
given it too much credit? Like credit
like,
in that's how the MCU got ruined, or
yeah, like
I'm not saying it got ruined per se by that movie alone. I'm saying that's where
you're taking one
okay,
movie and
whatever.
you're giving it, you're just taking one movie and you're letting it mess up like a bunch of other great movies when it shouldn't. And I think that's crazy. No,
I'm
because
saying
you're
it
saying
ruins it
you
as
watched,
a
yeah, you
whole.
watched, yes, and I don't think it does.
I think it
I
does.
think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I disagree. I don't think it does. Like, I think it's a big problem for that movie. That's it. Like, cause like if I'm watching the other movies, like if I'm watching every other movie and I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm not thinking about Captain Marvel. When I watch Captain Marvel, I'm just like, oh, that's a dumb decision. And then I could watch Captain Marvel, then rewatch the other movies and have no different opinion.
I could get it if it was its own standalone film, but it is part of a shared universe. That's the difference.
Yeah, I'm saying even though it's part of a shared universe, it just doesn't do that for me. And
Okay.
I
Well,
disagree in how that does that
you
for you.
are in the minority on that one.
I mean, I don't really know if that's the case because it's just us two talking, but
Well, we got a third
whatever,
person
man.
here. Ethan, what are your thoughts? What are your
Anyway,
thoughts, Ethan, about
he already
Thomas's
shared his thoughts
dumb
about Captain Marvel.
takes?
I thought they were good.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway,
It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but you know.
You
yeah,
thought what was good?
my
The
opinion about the
comedy.
movie.
I love the
Yeah,
comedy in the movie.
the movie that we're talking about, that we're
It was a
reviewing.
really funny movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I just don't. I don't know.
My
It
favorite
was like
part
Wait,
was
wait, wait,
when
wait, wait. We changed
I
from
feel.
me and Thomas's
I
conversation
feel
to the
like.
comedy of the Marvels relatively quickly. So I was
I
asking
mean,
Ethan, what
Sorry.
was your take on the
that's what we're reviewing that movie. He was getting us back on topic.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Ethan. Back to what you were saying, Ethan. I think the comedy was. I think it really carried this movie, which is saying something because the comedy wasn't like top tier.
It wasn't the greatest, and I feel like with with this
Yeah,
type of I
it was
haven't
just better
talked
than
and
I
I'm already
expected.
getting cut off. That
It was just
sucks,
better than I.
man.
No, I'm just agreeing with you, man.
Man,
It's
that
just better
sucks.
than I expected.
I just
I'm
wanted to
just,
talk.
I'm just
I just
agreeing with you.
I wanted to talk and I'm getting cut
comedy
off, man.
sucked? Move
Let
on.
me agree with you.
I thought the comedy was pretty good. Like, and I feel like the comedy in this movie was a hit or miss. For some people, like for example, Payson didn't really like it as much, whereas with me, I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. My favorite part was 110% when Captain Marvel started singing with that one Asian dude.
My favorite part was definitely the
That was
cats.
hilarious. Nah, the cats I didn't find that one funny.
One of the funniest jokes was when he was like,
Your take? What?
when it was like, oh, he starts speaking, and it was like, oh, he's bilingual, just because he was like talking.
Yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
He's talking like a normal person. Oh, he's bilingual.
Oh, bilingual, yeah.
It's so funny.
Bilingual,
I
bilingual.
like how they made singing a language.
Yeah, that was great though.
That's so
Yeah.
stupid. It's
That
offensively
was
unfunny.
it was just I thought it was just funny.
I think Payson just hates on things.
No, I just think he has
Payson's
no.
a hater.
I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
I just have
No.
expectations.
Yeah,
Payson's a hater.
and his expectations are really high,
I think Payson just likes to hate on things.
yeah, but it's like good
Makes
to
him
have
feel
those types of
powerful.
people. No, but it's good to have those types of people because if you're going into a
For
movie,
content.
No,
it's
Thomas
good.
just likes to hate my takes. That's the
No.
I like to hate movies and Thomas likes to hate my takes.
No, I'm just saying it's good to have
'Cause you hate on
people that
movies.
are
I don't hate
critics
on
because
movies.
no,
I hate on
it's
dumb
good to have
movies.
it's good to have critics like Payson because you then have like a bouncing point to bounce off of when it comes to watching a movie. like I look at Payson and I'm like, okay, what did he not like? Because he's gonna be going into this movie looking at like different stuff than me. Like he's pretty much gonna be looking at all the same stuff that I do.
Well,
But
considering that
I
you
feel
gave
like
it a
with his
4, I gave it like a 2.5,
2.5.
which I'm debating on making a 2 because you guys keep on talking about the worst parts about this film, which makes me just hate it more. So,
But what
but
you
like,
hated, we liked
hmm,
though.
you liked the poor character dynamics between the three
No, we
Marvels.
liked. I'm saying we liked the comedy of this
Yeah, the
movie.
comedy is probably one of the few things
I'll
that you
agree
guys liked
with you.
that I didn't.
I'll
I
agree
think
with you.
everything
The
else we
story,
kind of disagreed with. We kind of just agreed that it sucked.
I agree with you that the storyline was not that good,
No,
but I will say I really enjoyed the comedy in this movie,
I like
I
the
and that
liked
this
comedy.
my
movie
favorite part
brought.
about this film was when she decided to go and reignite the sun, after like doing 30 years of nothing essentially of just
I thought
twiddling her thumbs
I
when
thought
she
you
could
were
have
gonna.
done that any time.
Yeah, I thought that's where I thought the storyline just went downhill.
I also don't know how an AI could control both the sun, the water,
The
and the
ocean and the
atmosphere.
oxygen. That was so stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the writing was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I'm
But
saying. The writing sucked and
no,
the
I told you, I totally agree with you.
yeah, but yet
I
you
said that
gave it a
before. Like the
6
writing
because the
is
comedy was that good.
yeah, no, it's not just the comedy, it's the characters. Some of the
Mm.
interactions with the
I said the
characters.
characters were bad, and
Yeah,
that's
and that's what I
partially due to the
disagreed on.
writing, partially due to the acting.
Yeah. I didn't like the characters at all. Although I will
That's
say
what
the
that's
ending.
why I'm higher than you guys. I liked a lot
Will
of the
say,
characters in here.
but I will say the
Oh, it's almost
what
like
is
that's
it?
how it
I'm excited
works.
to see what happens. I don't like where the
Oh
Young
yeah.
Avengers are going because it's going to be literally all girls, and I feel like I'm going to absolutely hate that.
No, no, Ethan, you're not.
But
You're lying.
That's
They'll
try.
Ethan,
wow.
no, it's not going to be all girls. They'll probably throw a trans boy in there somewhere.
Oh, okay. So
But
then,
why
yeah,
would you
I
hate
will
Gotta keep
probably
why
not
you,
would
watch that.
gotta keep you on your
why would you
toes.
not like that? Like is there like a reason other than just it's all women?
Well,
Well,
yeah, if
I
it
feel like
was
they're going for a woke narrative when it comes to that.
well that, and it's also women, so nothing's gonna get done. They're gonna be bickering and complaining the whole time.
Because I feel like that's a weird opinion. Like if
I
you're just like not interested in the characters, like you don't like them, that's one thing. But like the only reason is like they're all women. I feel like that's a weird opinion because
no, I'm just saying
if they were
No,
all guys,
my take on this
no, I'm
is that
saying
they're all. What I know what Ethan's saying is that it has this sort of one. It's a whole bunch of uninteresting characters that have this sort of woke agenda about it. They happen to be all women. That's there. They happen to be women, but that seems to be the thing that they're kind of coaxing towards. Like you hate this because they're all women, which is which Thomas you did. I don't think you intended it for it to be like gotcha, but that is what most
no, that's
people
what
will
I'm saying.
point
Like,
to.
but if that's like your only take, then yeah,
No,
that's kind of what people are
Ethan
gonna
was.
assume.
I know what Ethan's meaning. He was getting to it, and then you
That's why
started
I'm
that.
asking.
So yeah, I know what
No,
you're
that's why I'm
saying, and
asking.
that's what I'm
what was
saying.
I getting to again? I'm
You were
sorry.
gonna say like this is a whole bunch of woke ideology kind of put
Yeah,
into like a whole thing of like, hey, this is just
and I
this. You
think
don't
that's
like
just
women? It's all about women.
no, I love
Got
women.
women
Trust
in
me.
it.
I have a beautiful girlfriend, let me tell you. I love my women, let me tell you. But I will say if it's going to be an all women cast, they're going to be pushing a narrative, which
Also,
is
that and they got to look good. That's
do
another.
anything. Women are going to be able to rule the world. Men ruin everything. They suck. They shouldn't be a part of this group. This is what I'm trying to say.
To be
Because I
fair, we
think if
saw
they
Ant-Man.
go
So
that route, if they do go that route, I just don't think that's what's going to
I mean,
happen.
they already did it in Ant-Man. So
Yeah,
so
Yeah, if they go that route, it's bad. But I feel like that's with anything.
biggest waste of a character in his prime too. That was so bad.
no, there's a lot of those in the MCU.
Yeah, Modoc.
Adam Warlock.
Taskmaster.
You know, Silver Surfer is supposedly going to be a woman.
Adam Warlock was fine.
Silver Surfer is going to be a woman.
I don't like that, but
At least
technically
it'll be hot.
you can't really.
I doubt
mean,
it.
it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet. So
Unless it's a
No,
lesbian.
but
then
it's
it
just
probably won't be.
reported, but it could. That's reported what it's gonna be.
So what X-Men should I catch up on for MCU?
Oh, X-Men?
Yeah.
Definitely the Deadpool movies for Deadpool.
Let me see.
Probably all the
Go
old
watch
X-Men
the
movies.
go watch the old X-Men animated series.
No, watch the X-Men movies.
No,
If
watch
you
the old
for
X-Men
the
animated
MC
series. Don't
for
tell
the
them what to
MCU
watch.
for
Like
the
on Disney
MCU
Plus. What I can
for
watch
the
on Disney Plus
are you
right now.
yeah
Yeah,
the
the old
X-Men
X-Men animated
movies.
series.
No,
Yes,
that has
he.
nothing to do with the MCU.
Neither does the Fox universe.
Yes, it does. It's getting introduced in Deadpool. That is the whole
Okay,
premise of Deadpool.
who cares?
He asked, "Oh my
It's gonna
gosh!" He
kill the
asked,
universe. It's not gonna matter.
"Yes," but he asked the question. I gave an answer, and that's a good answer.
Were you
Yours has
asking
nothing to
just
do.
in
I am
general?
so sorry for igniting this.
Yeah,
I
I
am
don't know
so
what Payson.
sorry.
I don't know what Payson's talking about.
Yes, he's asking for good stuff for X-Men, right? Just
Get
in general?
into the X-Men movies for the MCU, then it's
Are you
the
looking for
old
just
like the
X-Men
X-Men
stuff or
movies.
No, I was like X-Men for MCU.
Yeah,
X-Men for
the
MCU?
X-Men movies.
There's nothing for
Yeah.
MCU. Nothing's been
Yes,
done
there
yet.
is. Yes, there
No, there's not.
is.
That's the Fox universe.
Yes, but it's getting tied into the MCU. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna need to watch the X-Men movies.
Okay.
If you want a good,
Logan is good too. So Logan, but that's
if you
also
want,
like just watch the Fox universe, the Fox X-Men movies universe.
if you want to understand the characters and actually like them, go watch the animated series.
Okay.
Yes,
That's all
but
I
that's
can say.
not what he's asking.
I know, but I'm trying to teach him. But I'm trying to show him, hey, you might not like all that. So here's this.
Wait, isn't like the
Well, don't
Charles
tell him he's not
Xavier
gonna like something.
isn't the Charles Xavier that was in the
Yeah.
what was it?
Yep. Yep.
He was in the
Yep.
Fox one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So then Thomas might be
And
right, but I don't know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I no,
No, I
I'm
didn't
not
hear the
might be. I
question,
am.
but my point still remains. You want good X-Men? Go watch the animated series.
Okay.
Yes, but that's not what he
I
didn't say
get
he
that.
wanted
I
good
get that
X-Men.
now. So you can stop repeating yourself, please.
I don't know why you can't just admit that I'm right. I don't know
I
why it's
said
so
you
hard for you.
were. Gosh.
I want to hear you say
I'm
the
never
words,
right.
"You are right." Thomas.
No.
Exactly. You just can't do it.
No, because you got this proverbial. Never mind. I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
that
so
far.
you just can't do it. You know, it
No,
shows
'cause-
about who you
Thomas?
are.
No,
Thomas.
you got an ego about the size of Manhattan.
Yeah. Well,
Outro.
Tyson didn't like this movie, obviously. So Ethan
What gave
did,
that away?
kind of, not really. I
It was
thought it was
okay.
fine. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. But yeah,
This movie sucked.
I feel like that's how you end everything. Movie sucked. How you sound?
Well, he didn't do that with the Mario movie, I can tell you that.
Well, Mario movie was good.
Yeah, that's one of the ones he liked.
Oh no, but I hate everything.
Oh,
So,
he hates everything. Oh.
I know.
Did
I
you
like
hate
to hate everything.
Oppenheimer? Did you hate
Oppenheimer?
I don't
Oppenheimer?
think
No, I
so.
thought it was good.
Oh,
But
he
I
hates
apparently hate
everything.
everything, yeah.
He hates everything. Oh.
He does. He be hating on things.
Wait, did you hate the Joker?
No.
Oh, he hates everything. Oh,
hate-
he hates everything, folks.
He be hating on things though.
He hates
like Loki?
everything.
Do you like Loki?
No.
Oh, he hates everything. Oh, he hates everything.
Wait, you liked Guardians 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he hates everything. He hates everything.
Ethan, what are you doing right now?
Ah!
I'm confused with what your point was, but all right.
Kinda
My
like you were
point was I
confused
can
about
do
my
it.
point. Anyway.
I don't know why you do that. You just like say
Me?
something. No, Payson. He does this a lot. He'll say something, and it can be funny. It can be not funny. He might think it's funny. It might actually be funny. Whatever. He'll
No,
say
that was me
something.
just trying to bring it
Hold on,
back
hold on,
so
hold
I
on,
can
hold on, hold
end the
on.
stupid show.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Instead, you
No,
decided
you
to
do
make
this
it
a
all
lot.
about you.
You've got
You
a
make points that
boyfriend.
don't
I
make
bet he
sense.
doesn't kiss you. Why?
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, you do this thing where it's like you'll say something like funny, and
Yeah.
they'll just be like, anyway, and then you'll pause
I
for
do that
no reason.
too.
Like
Cause
you
I'm
think a
ready
laugh
to
track is
end
about
the
to play.
I
stupid
do
thing.
that too.
No, but it's like with anything. Like you'll just be sitting in the
Yeah.
car. No, that's not what
I
I'm
do
saying.
that too.
Yeah, all right, you both do it. I don't care. Y'all do this. It's a weird thing that only y'all
We're
do.
brothers. Of course we're doing the same thing. What do you
But
mean?
y'all just do a thing where it's like, and the guy said stop anyway, and then you'll just pause,
Yeah.
and
know what,
then
I
you'll
think he's
continue.
jealous
Like you're
of our
waiting
Yeah,
for a
he's
laugh
jealous.
track.
He's jealous that we actually have good dialogue. That's what this
I don't.
is.
Unlike the
I'm just
movie.
pointing out a thing that y'all do. I
Okay.
think it's a little weird because y'all are the only people that I've met that do that thing. You
A
make points that
boyfriend, I
don't make
bet he
sense.
doesn't kiss you. Why?
Anyway,
Ironic.
y'all like
Okay.
comedians on stage.
Speaking of
the
Young
Yeah.
Avengers, do you think their
waiting for the
periods are all
audience
gonna
to
sync
laugh.
up? That way they can have one battle every month where they're gonna be able to, Thank you for watching this episode of Glad to Confused. Join us next time when I'll probably say something negative about a movie and Thomas will complain that I did. And see you next time on Galactic Reviews.
Bye.